Big Sills, National Football Show. Happy Monday to you. What a time of year, man. Christmas week, right? Cowboy week. You get a win. I think you're going to be surprised the angle I'm going here. I think you'll be surprised today. Eagles get a hard-fought win on the road in Chicago in December. Okay? I do believe, before we even get going more, it's a dead heat for the MVP award. Hertz, I would lean to. Mahomes and Burrow are your three dogs coming down the backstretch. Jalen has got an enormous opportunity on Saturday night to close the door on it, I believe. Has a great chance. I want to show you something, though. So let me get this right. The Cowboys lose to an up-and-coming Jags team. By the way, Trevor Lawrence is playing like the Trevor Lawrence we thought. He is a franchise quarterback. But you lose to Jacksonville like that, and you're still favored on Christmas Eve over the Eagles? There is absolutely no respect for your record. There's respect for your team, but there is not respect for your record. Because when you look at it and you look at the defenses that team has played all year, they've been garbage. And by the way, for the record, don't start patting people on the back over that Chicago game. The Bears have the 31st worst defense in the NFL. They had nobody on the field. I'm surprised the Bears had any players left. So many guys left. Now, again, the Eagles took care of business. I'm going to get to it again. Now, I'm also going to say something else about Justin Fields before we get into Jalen Hurts and how the team played and my takeaways, okay? I'm going to say this to you. He has gotten better. Justin Fields has gotten better. And if that kid can figure it out in the passing game and the Bears can help him out in the passing game, that kid could be a force. He was impressive. And something else. So a quarterback, and everyone's raving over it, got 1,000 yards. Michael Vick and Lamar. Gee, two guys who ended up their careers not being able to finish seasons. Not being able to finish seasons. Oh, and by the way, Jalen Hurts is 44 carries away from 200 carries this year. That coaching staff is going to get that kid killed. He's going to end up exactly like Lamar. They're going to get him killed on the field. Those hits that he took, Chicago was coming for him. And by the way, is that how you want your quarterback going into the postseason with 17 to 20 carries going into the exhibition season? All beat the hell? Not me. I want him fresher. How can he be fresh going in to the postseason, carrying the ball 17 times? This guy's going to have over 200 freaking carries. That's feature back shit. I tell you the same thing about the guy in Buffalo. They need to figure that shit out or he's not going to finish years. This is not sustainable. This is not sustainable. I'm going to get to Hertz and his play on Sunday. By the way, those interceptions, Chicago, cold weather, December, some days you have a couple picks. I'm not sweating that shit. I'm not sweating that shit. The coaching staff sucked on offense on Sunday. You got Miles Sanders, a 1,200-yard back, and you keep him in the garage until the second half? Why? What is the absolute point in running your quarterback to get your quarterback killed? What is the point of that? You won. Absolutely. We're going to get to the numbers. Personally, I think the coaches, I think they sucked, and I think the players, they won in spite of shitty coaching on offense. Terrible. Awful situational play calling. That was the worst offensive play calling for Shane Steichen and Nick Sirianni the entire freaking year. How many times did you see that guy land on Hertz on his shoulder? My God almighty, do you know what I said right there? Please don't let that be a separated shoulder. Guy gets up. I mean, I'm surprised in one of those hits, the NFL officials didn't have him go check for concussion protocol. That's on the coach. Bro, Chicago, right before the Cowboy game, you run that guy into the dirt. What a shitty game of coaching. Terrible, terrible, terrible coaching by Shane Steichen. See, here's what you'll get here. Truth and being objective. Here's my takeaways. By the way, look at this. Look at the takeaways. Justin Fields is clearly getting better. By the way, 25-20, closer than you wanted. I said if the Bears were going to try to win this game, they had to make it a fourth quarter game, and they did. I'm surprised the Bears, as I said, finished the game with players. Josh Sweat is picking his game up. He is picking his game up. 8.5 sacks. Good for you, dude. He is, at the beginning of the year, I did not believe that he was a 3-down D lineman. He's picked his game up. Kudos. 8.5. A chance for you to have double-digit sacks. Kudos. By the way, Jonathan Gannon. I saw some games with Tracy Rocker in there. You guys were calling him. It was very confusing to a very inexperienced Chicago Bears O-line. Once the experienced guard went out, they started running games. I thought it was great. That's what you do. An experience, run experienced football plays at them. Devontae Smith, I could be wrong on this. I'll get to the numbers here too. He's 99 yards away from 1,000. Good for him. Hey, by the way, pats on the back for 1,000 yards. You're a first rounder, son. We're giving you kudos for doing something that is expected for a first rounder. Congratulations. You're going to get to 1K. Well, that's why we drafted you, isn't it? Hassan Reddick, the last 8 games, has been better than Micah Parsons. He's been better than Micah Parsons in pass rushing. Micah Parsons has been the invisible man the last couple weeks. And it showed up again. You know how many attempts the Cowboys have faced in the last 2 weeks? 738. They got 1 sack. He's the defensive player of the year. And the Jacks put up 500 total yards on him. Give me a break, guy. You're comparing to Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor on a bad day would have 2 sacks and 10 tackles. And it would be a 21-19 game. That guy he's not Pat Swilling. He's not Pat Swilling. I'll tell you, I'll give you this. In the last 3 weeks, since they had a come to Jesus conversation, the special teams on the Eagles have been kind of flipping the field on teams. Outside of that block punt last week, I thought that the special teams, since that coming to Jesus conversation, I think they've picked it up. I think they look better. By the way, having Boston Scott back here, remember what I told you? Start putting some of your frontline guys back there, and it's panning and playing out. Jalen Hurts' play. I thought the kid was great. I don't care about the 2 picks. I think the kid was great. in a shitty play calling game, in a shitty situational play calling game, the coaches get an F. Jalen gets an A. 300 yards. I hated the 17 carries. The only thing that I hated about Jalen Hurts on Sunday was the 17 freaking carries. Why? Dude, I can get if you had a back with 400 yards, he dropped the ball, he was like Melvin Gordon, and he sucked out loud. You got a back who's averaging 5.2 yards a carry, and you keep him in the barn? Why? Because you know why? You're relying too much on that kid. You're going to get Jalen Hurts killed. Terrible. 17 freaking carries. That coordinator should be locked up. How many times were you holding your breath when Hertz went down? You're this close to greatness. Why would you endanger that? Holy cow. I kept screaming at the television, where's Sanders? Where's Sanders? I think it really has to do with business decisions being made upstairs, and they don't want Sanders to have the numbers that he's going to end up with. I really believe that in my heart because, get this, you can't give me a reasonable explanation that I'm going to go out there and fucking run my quarterback into the dirt before the Cowboy game. There's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that. Dude, if you're the general manager, don't you go to your coach? Or is the general going to the coach? Don't play Sanders. Telling you. Hey, Arthur, keep putting 13-1 up. Nobody in Vegas or Atlantic City cares about it. Cowboys are favored. Cowboys are favored. Your 13-1 record don't mean shit this week. The people who put the money on the game don't think you're going to beat them and don't think you're better than Dallas. And Dallas just lost. I can't think of anything more disrespectful. Eagles show up every week, man. They may not play their best ball, but they win. The Cowboys lay an egg. I don't get that whole it makes absolutely no sense. Unless Howie is absolutely playing incentive game with the player. Makes no sense. By the numbers. Scoreboard is the worst number here. 25-20. It's easily the worst number. It's okay, though. Total yards. Eagles, 421 to 243. The defense was sensational on Sunday. Passing, 309 to 86. That's with the sacks. Fields had 152, but when it comes to total team stats, the sacks take away from the passing yards. Rushing, Bears, not expectedly, would have more because of Fields, 157 to 112. First downs were relatively close, 20-15, favor the Eagles. Here's where you won the game. Total plays, 71 for Philly, 58 for the Bears. Turnovers. Here's what kept the Bears in the game, 3. Passing, Hertz, in the cold, in Chicago, and throwing the wide receivers on Sunday, I thought they were Willie Mays catching over-the-shoulder catches. There is no doubt. I tell you, I was probably more impressed with Jalen Hurts passing in that Chicago game than any game this year. Because of the weather, because of the situational shitty play calling, and because he was banged up. Very tough ball game. Both players played tough. Fields and Hertz. And one thing about both these players, Justin Fields is going to be more like, I'm going to get to all your takes, guys, I promise. To me, and you tell me if this comparison is fair. I think more so Fields is going to be more like Michael Vick. And I think Hertz is going to be more like Russell Wilson, early Russell Wilson, when he was winning NFC championships and they were winning with Marshawn Lynch. People forget one of the reasons that Seattle team with Russell Wilson was so effective. Marshawn Lynch was a beast. Kept that team in third and short the whole time. So those guys are going to be kind of more comparable. Sanders, 11 carries, 42 yards. Holy shit. How terrible is that? A.J. Brown, 9 catches, 181. Boy, I'll tell you, we're going to look at the guys by the numbers too. Hey, Gary Cobb will be with us in hour number 2 at 4:30. Tomorrow at 3:30, Fox's Jimmy Johnson will join us to preview Cowboys and Eagles. Then on Wednesday, Michael Irvin will join us at 4:30 for a couple minutes. So those are your next 3 days lined up for you. By the way, the shitty offensive coaches need to find a better way to get Quez Watkins the ball. I mean, until Dallas Goedert gets there, I'm sure Dallas Goedert will be back for this Cowboy game. What a bunch of shit, man. It's not sustainable. It's why you don't pay Hertz. If the coaches are going to run Hertz like that, I would never give that guy $50 million because he'll be hurt like Lamar, like Cam couldn't finish years, like Vic and every other guy. And by the way, the guy in Buffalo is not excluded from that. I know some of you want to make this conversation into some other stupid shit conversation. That guy in Buffalo won't last either. Hertz, 4,000 passing yards is 520 yards away. 4 to play. He's 8 away from 30. He's 253 away from 1,000. I don't want him to get 1,000 yards rushing. How does that help the Eagles? How does that is the most meaningless stat on the planet. And I'm going to show you why. Watch this, Xander. So, congratulations, Justin Fields. You're the third back to have 1,000 yards or a quarterback to get 1,000 yards rushing. Where were you at the end of the game when your team needed you? Oh, you were in the tent and then in the locker room. Where was Lamar Jackson this weekend when his team needed him versus the Browns? Oh, he's on IR. Congratulations to you. You guys have 1,000-yard running quarterbacks that can't finish the year. How's that help your franchise? How did Justin Fields getting that 1,000 yards help his franchise when you've beat his ass up? How's that helping him? How's that helping him grow when he's hurt finishing the season? It's absurd. Congratulations. The Bears should be ashamed he got 1,000 yards. I mean, Jalen Hurts is going to have 200 carries. The Eagles should be ashamed of that number. He's carrying the ball more this year than he did a year ago. It's not sustainable. Miles Sanders is 190 yards away from 1,300 yards. And you didn't play that dude until the second half, theoretically. How stupid is that? You can't be any dumber, man. That was the worst play calling all year for the Eagles on offense. Yeah, somebody's going, Lamar's declining. Why is that? Because he's running the ball too much. It'll happen to Hertz. Dude, you think Jalen Hurts is a healthy guy today after that Chicago? Chicago. They beat him up in Chicago. You had to have your quarterback carry the ball 17 times. Danny threw for 300 yards. Right. 300 yards and then got his head kicked in the rest when he was running the ball. Congratulations against the shitty Bears. Did you really need him to play that hard against the shitty Bears? Ask yourself that. How dumb. A.J. Brown is 199 away from 1,400. If he does that, he'll have a TO04 year. And Devontae, as we said, is 99 yards away from 1K. I think he does end up with it. But again, watch this. I said he wouldn't. If he does, great. I guess. You are a first rounder. You're not Quez Watkins. I mean, expectations for first rounders are 1,000 yards? Jesus Christ. I said he wouldn't because I didn't think they were the ball. That's his fifth 100-yard game in 32 games. I guess. Kind of. Why in the world are you running your quarterback in the shitty Bears game? In the shitty Bears game. Sills, are you saying that the win? No. No. I don't care. 25-20, get the win, dude. Get out of town. Get in Dallas week. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. The Bears hurt that kid. The Bears hurt that kid. You said we wouldn't have two 1,000-yard receivers. Congratulations to you, Joseph. I sure hope it pans out for a Super Bowl for you. Because all those stats won't mean dick if they don't win it. Hey, Dan Sileo consistently wrong all year. Hey, Steve, you're welcome. And that's the reason you're 13-1. Yeah, because I thought everybody at the beginning of the year said the Eagles would lose one game this year. Yeah, Steve. Why don't you pick us all some lottery tickets or Powerball numbers, and we'll all go home. What a tool. Topics. Hertz is getting worn down. Hertz is getting worn down. Hertz is getting worn down. I want to see what this kid looks like in the postseason. Just like Vic, just like Lamar. But Sills, he squats 600 pounds. Yeah? Well, that Bears team put a butt kicking on him. Jalen Hurts left that game banged up. Jordan Mailata telling the kid, hey, stay down, stay down. He's like, no, get me up. I'm telling you, man, they put a beating on him. And if I'm a D coordinator, you know what I'm going to do to Jalen Hurts? I'm going to put a hat on that guy every time I can now. Because I don't believe that a quarterback can take 200 carries. I don't believe it. You got a freaking running back. Save your quarterback for the postseason, even if it costs you a game. Now, I'm not saying and suggesting here that you lose a game to lose home field advantage. I'm not suggesting that. But after the Dallas game, are you going to continue to run Jalen Hurts in a shitty Bears game 17 times? I'll tell you this too, dude. If that was the Dallas game and Hertz ran the ball 17 times, you know what I would say? Okay, I get it. You know, you want to beat Dallas up? Okay. The only thing for me would be, hey, I get it. It's Dallas. But, dude, the Giants against the Saints. Saints are still in it. Okay? Play Minshew, man. Shit, man. Once I get home field wrapped up, play a couple series, put Jalen's ass on the bench. That's why I'm going to push all my chips in against the Cowboys to close this thing up. Let me tell you what the worst thing was for the Eagles on the weekend was that comeback by the Vikings. Because it would have pretty much assured them that they would have home field. But now you got to kind of still play. That thing that they did, that comeback, that kept Jalen Hurts in the game till the end of the year. Good. So I'm on the Bears game, and I'm doing this. Wait a minute. You're going to beat this quarterback up, and you're getting ready for one Cowboy week, and then on top of that, you're going to put 200 carries on this kid? Look, I'll tell you, and I'll say this to you, all kidding aside and all. Jalen Hurts, I do agree. They ran him way too much in that Bears game. He won't hold up. And Tone, here's what I'm going to agree with. Jalen Hurts has not. Look at this, man. The numbers he's putting up. Hey, I'm gonna make a promise to you. Hurts plays great Christmas Eve. And here's my MVP right now. My vote for my MVP, Hertz, Mahomes, and Burrow. Those three dudes. And I think it's a tie. Sills, Mahomes struggled versus the Texans. Well, they also did win their 7th AFC West title. And if the Eagles are allowed a shitball game against the 31st ranked defense in the NFL, so are the Chiefs. So are the Chiefs. And they don't have a running game. It's those three. But if Hertz puts up a 300-yard game and Jalen throws for 4 touchdowns against Dallas, he's going to win the MVP. I've talked to numerous people. He will. He'll win. He'll get my vote. He'll get my vote. That dude in Dallas is holding the Cowboys back, not pushing them forward. That's a bigger game for Dak on Saturday night than Jalen. Jalen's done it all year. Dak hasn't. Dak Prescott holds the Cowboys back. He holds them back. You paid $45 million and overpaid for a guy who won't deliver you anything more than Kirk Cousins will. Dak Prescott is Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins throws for 460 against the 5-8 Colts. Dak and Cousins have won nothing. Hey, and I told you this. The only thing, hey, and you know what? I'm going to probably have to amend this now, aren't I? I said that the Cowboys had better edge rushers than you guys. I'm not so sure of that anymore. As a matter of fact, production-wise, the Cowboys are not. Reddick and Sweat. Hey, here's something else to give Howie a lot of love. Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave have picked their game up so much so, I didn't realize that Fletcher had 6 sacks. Fletcher Cox has picked his game up since Sue and Joseph have been added. We said that dynamic may happen. It's happened. The interior of the D-line has got, defending a dude like Justin Fields is almost and virtually impossible. He's going to break tackles like I mean, Matt Ryan gets hit like that, he's going down like a powder keg. And seriously, I used to think the only advantage that the Cowboys had on the Eagles were their edge rushers. I don't believe that anymore. I do not, but they have 1 sack in the last 790 attempts. I don't see it. I think the Eagles go into that game on Saturday night with the best defense of the two teams. They're the better defense. They're the better O-line. Their quarterback is playing superior. Their running game, well, when used, is superior. Makes no sense, though. Why? Explain it to me. Explain to me here. What in the right minds of the offensive coaches when they were drawing up the game plan? Did they think it was in the best interest to run Jalen Hurts like that against a 3-win team? Unless you don't trust the rest of your players. Or you don't trust Sanders, or you're playing politics with him. Now, Jalen trusts his – this is not on Hurts. This conversation has nothing to do with Hurts. This is a conversation on front office meddling. What brilliant strategist was there all week going, well, do you know this game should have been over after 15 minutes? It should have been over. Instead, they're throwing the ball. And watch this. The throws are the dumbest thing. I blame the picks not on Jalen. I blame the picks on the coaches. Why? They are the second worst rush defensive football team in the league. You have a back that's averaging 5.2 carries a game and not your quarterback. Why did you keep the Bears in it? And when Sirianni was asked the question, he skated around it. Jalen, you know what Jalen did? Can I tell you what I think Jalen Hurts does in the middle of the game? I think he overrides some of those shitty calls on the sidelines. And he takes off. I just think he overrides it. And that's why those carries are up like that. I think he overrides some of the shitty play calling that they've had all year long. That's why he's carrying the ball more this year than he did a year ago. You know, Shane Steichen's getting a lot of love. Why would he get a lot of love? Guys, is it a great accomplishment that Justin Fields got 1,000 yards? Sure. Does it help him? No. Not when you're in the injury tent. Not when you can't play like Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. Lamar can't finish seasons any longer. His gamble of $250 million that he put back in the Ravens' lap has failed. Well, he's 1,000-yard run. And all three of those guys ended up shelling themselves. Cam Newton couldn't raise his arms at the end of his career. Is that what you want for Hertz? Sills, he's different. He squad 6. Okay. You're defying logic. Daffy goes, the Eagles were testing new schemes. What's that? Run the quarterback into the ground scheme? Now, here's something else. Michael, it's an observation that I took away from that game. Hey, by the way, what's the coolest thing about the Eagle win? Hey, dude, they kind of limped around for a little bit. Stupid stuff kept the Bears in it. Because anywhere you look in the stat sheet, the Bears didn't put up. Hey, Fields kept him in it, and the turnovers did too. So you're going to throw the ball in Chicago in December in 20-degree weather when you know there's going to be picks. I swear to you, man, I dissed Jalen on the picks. I don't care, man. He threw for 300 yards, threw the ball over shoulders, and he had some great throws. That was on the coaches. They were awful. The first drive was back-to-back Hertz runs. Dude, Jesse, against the Bears, who you know are going to take shots at him. Do you know that was the Bears' Super Bowl? Every team. Oh, and by the way, you don't think Mickey Loomis is going to turn that game against the Eagles into a grudge match after what happened with that first-round pick? Especially if the Saints are still in it because the Bucs are shit in the bed. They're in the NFC South race. They're going to come for Jalen. That's the home of Bountygate. Dumb. What's wrong with? Hey, is Sanders? Oh, we want to. So you rather save Sanders for the postseason than your quarterback? Hey, I love Miles Sanders, and I think Miles Sanders has had a spectacular season. I do. I think he had a spectacular season. Okay, I do. You don't use him? You don't use Miles Sanders. I don't know what you're talking about, Dallas. T-Car, I told you for 2 weeks, I don't see the Cowboys beating you Christmas Eve. I'll do that on a Monday. I don't see it. Vegas thinks it. You got the wrong dude if you think I'm picking Dallas here. You got the wrong dude. You know why? What are we always counting on during the Christmas time? Santa squeezing his fat ass down a chimney, the Cowboys nuclear melting down. You know what the Cowboy name should be? The Dallas Chernobyls. The Dallas Chernobyls. Seriously, they have a nuclear disaster every December. The Dallas Chernobyls. Cowboys December football? When? 30 years ago? Dallas not only gave up 40 points, Vlad, they gave up 500 yards in offense. 500 yards. And the edge rushers have not gotten home. By the way, Trevor Lawrence looks spectacular. Way to go, Doug. Hey, Xander, I missed the super chat. Can you please tell me? And post the super chat here, man. I want to. Horrible game plan on Sunday. Got Hertz beat up. Vernon, absolutely, man. Why? Vernon, I'm gonna say this because you know what? I love teasing people on Twitter. You know why? Because you're easy on Twitter. Here's the reality. Jalen has improved so much. It's a pleasure to watch a guy. Hey, I would never wish Hertz not to succeed. I made a prediction, and we'll find out. We're 4 games away if I'm right or wrong. Isn't it great? I'd rather be wrong than cover a guy like Zach Wilson. Who in their right mind wants to cover Carson Wentz? You guys don't get it. Who wants to cover Gardner Minshew? Who wants to cover that Denver game? Hey, that Denver game? Who were the quarterbacks in it? I never heard of them. 3 games left. Thank you, Ron. The Dallas Chernobyls. Remember that. I'm going to say this to you, Eric. I think Jalen Hurts, if I'm the Eagles, this Cowboy game is his last big effort game. And if that stops him from getting to 4,000 yards, I don't give a shit. He puts up 4 touchdowns against the Cowboys. He gets my MVP vote, whether he has $4,000 or not. Because he'd have knocked down every single season goal that he put out there. Sweet boys, win the East, home field. That's who Jalen Hurts is. It's wonderful. You should be very proud of watching this kid. Now, you know about protecting him. And how you played him against the Bears is sinful. It's sinful. 31st worst rush defense in the NFL, and you're throwing it? Those interceptions are not on Jalen Hurts. But he played great. I thought Hertz played great. 300 yards. Well, what the numbers again? 61 rushing, 315 yards, touchdowns. Here's something else on why Jalen Hurts won't last and why I've been against paying him. So I heard a stat. Jalen Hurts has more rushing touches than any running back in the last 2-year league. Is that good or bad? Is that good or bad, you think? Ask yourself that. Is that good or bad? You think a quarterback with the most carries and touchdowns running is a good thing? Won't last. Absolutely won't. Hey, by the way, Sills, doesn't it show his athleticism and his ability to win? Yeah, it does. He is a carry away from a knee injury against the Bears. How about a Jalen Hurts gets hurt in a 3-win game for the Cowboys? As you said times. Sean, there is no future. Show me future with guys who carry the ball times from the quarterback position. Lamar can't finish year. Kyler Murray's done till next October. And you think this guy is going to be different than the rest of them. Your mind. The question to come up, is he good to continue to evolve? Showing he is. The worst thing, okay? The worst thing is by far the carries in that game. All right, some computer issues here. So we're going to take a time out here. The worn out issue, I got a problem with it. Okay? I do. Please hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio. Destination Downingtown is rolling back prices for December to remember. For a limited time, you can own, not lease, brand new 2023 Jeep Wranglers for only $30,995 or $339 per month. New Rams starting at only $30,995 or new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs $189 per month. Zero down can deliver. Get the price you want, the selection you need, and the VIP treatment you deserve. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Big Finish Sales Event.
Did you know taxes could be your biggest expense during retirement? Are most of your assets in tax-deferred accounts like IRAs and 401ks? Taxes are historically low today, but we're facing significant headwinds in the future. Do you have a plan? The Thrive Financial team has more than 100 years of experience helping people across the Delaware Valley with forward-looking tax planning. Learn how to shift your money from forever tax to no or low tax accounts. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Big Sills, hour 1, right here on the National Football Show. Please hit the like button. Hey, this is a note to Michael Parsons. Instead of taking shits on Jalen Hurts last week, you must have forgot you had a football game this past weekend. You must have forgot there was a ball game played. Dude, talk about looking like a dope. Shut your hole. Absolutely shut your hole. You kill everything that Cowboy team is accomplishing and trying to accomplish with your bullshit. Throwing shade at the guy. It makes absolutely no sense. Honestly, man, it makes zero sense. Lori and Howie are meddling again. They are meddling. Miles Sanders doesn't run the ball. You don't effectively use him, Harry, until the second half. Why? Lori and Howie are meddling again, not running Miles and stat padding Hertz. It's the same crap in the Redskins game 2 years ago with Nate Sudfeld. Amen. Dude, get that guy out of the damn building. And here's a perfect example of it. Howie's standing outside the locker room wanting back slaps because he brought Sue and Joseph in. Get the hell out of it, man. Dude, your ego is so bad. You know, let me tell you something. Howie Roseman's ego is so big, he's writing checks that Jalen Hurts eventually one day won't cash because you're running that kid into the dirt. That's a fact. Okay? Stupid, stupid, stupid. Man, you got a lot of Chiefs, and you don't have really like a lot of people out there working for you, do you, dude? You got a lot of decision makers that sit in that room, and everybody gives their opinion. And you turn around, you put it all on that kid. You got to break the kid down, man. Nick Bosa now the favorite for Defensive Player of the Year. Dude, my opinion, Hassan Reddick has put his name in it. I told you this a long time ago, guys. You'll hear someone will go, Sills, you're flip-flopping. So wait a minute. Would you guys rather have me come out here and go and lie to you and say that Hassan Reddick has sucked over the last 7 games? Do you want me to do that? I can. I know some people like to hear lies. Sports talk is different than anything on the planet. You know why? Players perform, opinions change. Okay? Players' ability and accountability changes. Why wouldn't the opinion change on him? Or do you still shit on the guy? It's a good thing. When you hear Big Sil say this guy will never do it, and all of a sudden he's at the cusp of doing it. He produced. Why wouldn't the narrative change on that conversation? Really, you think I'm one of them old fart guy, sports guys that sit there and hammer a point? My point about dual threat quarterbacks has not changed. By the way, once again, the guy in Buffalo is in the same boat. He's in the same boat. Ken Dorsey and Sean McDermott, they got to come up with a way of saving that kid's ass, because that kid is going to be the same thing as Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, all them dudes who were beat up in their careers because they were so-called dual threat. That thing yesterday was an abomination. Isn't it crazy nobody in Philly will point that out? That the coaches and the front office, they shit that. Man, I'm telling you, you're going to get that kid killed. You're going to get that kid killed. You're going to look back on this and you're going to go like this could have been. Remember I said it. Unless you change this. And you know what's even weirder about it? You know what's even weirder about it? Is that you got a 1,200-yard back. What's even stranger about it? Well, Sills, he averages 3.9. No, he averages 5 yards a carry. You got a back that averages 5 yards a carry, has 1,200 yards. What's the number he has? He's got 1,100 yards as of today. 11-10. And you don't play him? At 5.2 a carry. There's no reasonable explanation for that. In Chicago, in 20-degree weather, and you run your quarterback until he gets his brains beat out almost. Dude, and get this. Because Bob Lang and all them dudes run the Philadelphia media people, you ain't getting that at a press conference. Why would you run this guy? He's 44 carries away from 200. Hold these people's feet to the fire on this. What's more important to you, getting Jalen Hurts to 4K or getting Jalen Hurts to 15-1 in home field and getting him some rest? Dude, of all the guys on the team that needs rest, it's Hertz. He got beat up in that game. You saw it. Everyone did. And then when you put the entire remainder of the season in context, I don't know about you, man. I think the health of Jalen going into the playoffs is the most important thing right now. Ask Baltimore if that is. Do you look what Baltimore's doing? They'd rather lose a game to the Cleveland Browns, okay, than put Lamar Jackson in the way because they know they need him for the postseason. Do you know what they're hoping to do? Personally, I think what's going to happen, I think they're going to end up being a wild card, and they're not going to win that division, and they're going to make it in as a wild card, and then they're just going to hope Lamar can carry them to the AFC Championship game. And I wouldn't play him this weekend. Douglas Sills, you got to trademark the Dallas Chernobyls. Yeah. Well, dude, am I wrong? It's December nuclear meltdown every year in Dallas. Didn't say too, you watch Cowboys, they dropped that game to the Jags. I mean, dude, if there's, you know what, I wish I could pick Dallas Cowboy December games like I try to pick lottery tickets because I'd be a billionaire. I'd be a billionaire. A billionaire. I'd be a billionaire. Stop. Hey, JM, look at JM. Squatting 600 pounds means nothing. Nothing. When you run a guy 200 times, nothing. JM pretending, dude, really? You're not going to find anybody that's more educated about what a weight room does than yours truly. I held the title of the strongest guy for 2 years in America at the age of 19. Don't talk to me about what weight room stuff does. That's a fact. Don't ever talk to me about weight room stuff. Oh. He is? Sorry, JM. Hey, Tone and Xander. Thank you. Hold on, JM. Sorry, JM. You know me, man. I get a little bit ahead of myself. He's agreeing with you. Oh, God. JM, you got me good on that one. You got me good, JM. Big Sil's got to learn to read. Hey, watch this, Sills. You may know what you're doing in a weight room, but you don't know what to do with an English book, do you? Oh, my God. Easy, Hoss. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Joe's okay. I'm a tool. I apologize. Oh, man. So, JM, go ahead, JM. You get to call me a tool. Go ahead. Got the playoff picture at the top, too. God dang. You know what? I guess it's kind of like my kid, wife, and I. You never listen. And when you do, you listen to 2%. And I'm like, oh, man. In his defense, I'm usually needling. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Arthur, 13-1. Vegas don't set as anything. Cowboys are favored. How are the Cowboys favored? I thought it was by 1. I thought it was by 1. All right, guys. Hey, look, I guess everybody's home in California. That's why the internet is going in and out. Xander, I'm going to take a timeout here at the top of the hour. We'll take a look at the playoff race and everything else. Please do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio. Destination Downingtown is rolling back prices for December to remember. For a limited time, you can own, not lease, brand new 2023 Jeep Wranglers for only $30,995 or $339 per month. New Rams starting at only $30,995 or new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs $189 per month. Zero down can deliver. Get the price you want, the selection you need, and the VIP treatment you deserve. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Big Finish Sales Event.
Did you know taxes could be your biggest expense during retirement? Are most of your assets in tax-deferred accounts like IRAs and 401ks? Taxes are historically low today, but we're facing significant headwinds in the future. Do you have a plan? The Thrive Financial team has more than 100 years of experience helping people across the Delaware Valley with forward-looking tax planning. Learn how to shift your money from forever tax to no or low tax accounts. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Sales National Football Show. Please hit the like button. We appreciate it. Hour number 2 coming up at the bottom of the hour. We will talk to our friend from Fox 29 in Philadelphia. Don't forget also, we have Jimmy John tomorrow at 3:30, and we have Michael Irv at 4:30 on Wednesday so far. So I know the internet's going in and out, guys. I apologize for that. So hopefully you'll bear with me here on it too, because again, it's going in and out here a little bit. So we appreciate everybody hanging in there with us. Thank you very much. Look at playoffs. Also, we're going to look at week 15 of the National Football League, but I want to reiterate something too. All the things we said in the first hour about Hertz and how he's playing, my problem with Jalen Hurts and achieving things. My problem is with the ability to keep this thing on the railroad tracks. I don't think it's not sustainable. There's not a high ceiling. There's not a high ceiling here. I tweeted out few opportunities and was talking about a guy like a Deshaun Watson. Joseph, thank you very much. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. I apologize again about the internet. I don't know. Sometimes the thing goes in and out. You become, hey, D-Mad, you become like a servant to the internet here on such things like this. So hopefully it's going to be able to pan out. If not, we're going to have to take a time out here in a second. So hopefully it comes back around again. Mistake, Sills. You could bench press 4 or 5. Leave Earl Joy Taylor alone. Okay? Leave Earl. Wow. Bears game when you're running a guy like that. It just doesn't make sense. Everyone in Philly's talking about, every radio show has been wondering why. Interesting. About time. Good PRs. Appreciate that. Okay? Commie California at its best today. That's for damn sure. This has got to be a business decision on Sanders. It's got to be. Okay? Got to be. Hey, Xander, I think we're going to take a brief time out here, and we're going to try to reset this here, okay, guys? Because I don't want you guys to have to go through crappy internet here. So let's take a quick time out. We'll bring it right back.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner,
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn,
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney,
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
and Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio. Destination Downingtown is rolling back prices for December to remember. For a limited time, you can own, not lease, brand new 2023 Jeep Wranglers for only $30,995 or $339 per month. New Rams starting at only $30,995 or new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs $189 per month. Zero down can deliver. Get the price you want, the selection you need, and the VIP treatment you deserve. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Big Finish Sales Event.
Did you know taxes could be your biggest expense during retirement? Are most of your assets in tax-deferred accounts like IRAs and 401ks? Taxes are historically low today, but we're facing significant headwinds in the future. Do you have a plan? The Thrive Financial team has more than 100 years of experience helping people across the Delaware Valley with forward-looking tax planning. Learn how to shift your money from forever tax to no or low tax accounts. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Rough day today, folks. Hopefully you can hear me, and we'll just go with it and barrel through with it here. We really appreciate it. Gary Cobb, bottom of the hour. Not going to let this thing derail us here. I want to say something here for those folks in Tampa. Firing or moving Bruce Arians upstairs has been a colossal disaster in Tampa. This is the problem you have when you listen to players like LeBron James. And you get a shitty Laker team because he wants certain players around him. This is what happens when you don't have a true leader in the locker room. And Tom Brady takes control of the room. Brady is a creature of discipline. Todd Bowles, what are you going to tell Tom Brady? Todd Bowles should be fired as the head coach of the Bucs. Okay? Should be fired. You think when Brady leaves the room, that thing's going to improve because Todd Bowles? Absolutely not. Him and Leftwich now. Massive mistake by the Glazers. Massive mistake by the Glazers to put Bruce Arians in the front office. Massive. Sorry, I know, man. It's been in and out today. I don't know why it's been like this all day. So we apologize for that too. So I thank you guys for hanging in here with me. And hopefully it gets itself out here as we go on. I want to say this about the defensive side of the football. And I give kudos to, watch this, I want to give kudos to Jonathan Gannon. That was a pretty damn game plan. And the Eagles and that defense got off the bus. They got off the bus against the Bears. They played asses off. Not on the bandwagon. That's not my style of D coordinator. Okay? That is not my style of D coordinator. No way. However, those guys showed up. The front four is playing as good. How about this? Let me put this out there to you guys. Okay? Let me put this out there to you guys. Is this 2022 front seven and the O-line playing better than the 17 O-line and D-line? I'm going to make a statement here if that's true and you think this is true. Do you think this group in 2022, because I've told you guys this, okay? I've told you guys this, that I thought the Philadelphia Eagles in 2017 had the best combination of O-line, D-line I've seen since the Steeler teams. And I'm talking those Bradshaw Steeler teams. Is this the best group? Now, I do want to put this out there and say this. The Eagles have played against some pretty shitty defenses this year. But still, they've dominated. That thing on Sunday was bad coaching. You know what's funny? Players get an A. Coaches get Fs for the Bear game. Was it Miles? Get this. You know who should be on the milk cartons tomorrow? The coaches. Miles Sanders? Why would he be on the milk carton? They didn't use him. We knew where he was. He was on the bench. He was on the bench. I'm going to say, again, let me make this as clear as I can, guys. I didn't think the Eagles played bad. Did you? Anybody come away going like this? Shit, you had 1 billion sacks. You held the team under 250 yards of total offense. Do you think they played bad? Well, Sills, it was 2025. Yeah, because of your shit calling. And you get your quarterback. Hey, get this. You have a close game and you get your quarterback beat up. How do you want to hear something even more remarkable? If you're in Chicago right now, you feel pretty good about the way you played against the Eagles. If you're Eagles, you got to be asking yourself this question. Why would we run our back with 3 games remaining the way we did? 4 carries away. That is an atrocious number. Okay? Person, thank you. Those statistics on 1,000-yard running quarterbacks are the worst stat on the planet. Congratulations, Bears. Your guy's in the injury tent. Look at what the Bears did. They got Justin Fields 1,000 yards running. And they got him. Guess what? Get this. They got Justin Fields 1,000 yards rushing. And they also got him a reservation in the injury tent. Hey, that was worth it. Hey, that was worth it. Hey, our quarterback's in the injury tent, but we got him 1,000. Seals, do you think he's getting better? I do. Running fields like that is awful. Eagles played their worst game of the season and still managed to win. A lot of teams wish they could do that. Joseph, completely 100%. I think people thought that I was going to sit here and shit on the Eagles because they played a shit game. No, it was a shitty game. You held them. You held the Bears under 250 yards of total offense. You held them to 58 total plays. I don't know. Where's that play? What about the 25-20? Because you started throwing the ball. Why? Against the 31st run defense in the NFL. How's that make sense? Say it one more time to you. You got to, hey, with a dual threat quarterback, you've got to take extra precautions. You've got to take extra precautions when you have a dual threat guy like that. You've got to be, to me, I think the Eagle coaches were not very smart. I don't think they were very smart. Fields got hit more than Hurts. Well, if we're having a conversation and a competition on whose quarterback got hurt and hit more in games, that's not a stat or a conversation I have. And quite frankly, Fields got hit more because he was the only thing on the offensive side of the field. There was nothing there. All the receivers were banged up. You lost an old lineman. Then you lost another old lineman. I was surprised they had players at the end of the game to play. That's not a competition I want us to be in. Jess, thank you. Say it again. Watch this. Jalen Hurts. Sills, how do you think Hurts played? I thought he was great. What about the picks? It's Chicago, Soldier Field in December, and it's windy. Is that an excuse? No. It's a reality. Have you ever played there? I have. It's 20 degrees. Are you making excuses? No, because I'm pointing it at the coaches for not knowing the game and the surroundings around the game that they were putting a game. Here, plug and play again. These idiots in Philadelphia decided to come up with a game plan to run your quarterback 20 times almost. It's a matter of time before he gets hurt. With that coaching mentality, Jalen is so much smarter than the coaches he has around him. He is smarter than the guys he has around him. It's evident. You know why? Because that big run he had even on Sunday, dude, that wasn't by design. That was him taking off. He's not going to throw a ball down the field and win 20 below, and you're in Chicago. What, so they can have a turnover? You kept the coaching staff kept the Bears in the game for 4 freaking quarters. The coaching staff did. Worst coaching staff game plan of the year. Offensively. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I actually saw a hodgepodge of defensive stunts and line stunts in this football game, and I was floored by it. I was like, wow. Look at that. Hassan Reddick is he's been more productive in the last 7 weeks than what Parsons has. Right now, in my opinion, the Player of the Year award, that goes to Nick Bosa. Would never give it to Parsons. Never. Shit, he may be third. Parsons may be second. Micah Parsons should shut his face and worry about what he's doing on Sundays instead of sitting there talking shit like he's some sort of face of the league. Dude, you're overrated. Jess, thank you. Micah Parsons is overrated. There, I said it. That dude's overrated. Tone, as I said in the first hour about Josh Sweat, there were questions now whether or not he could be a 3-down defensive lineman, and I didn't think he could. But since they've added Sue and Joseph, everybody has benefited. Let me say this to you. That is maybe the move of the year. Because you know why? They did it in season. They did that shit in season, found 2 guys at the ice cream stand. And dude, Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick, all these guys are eating now. And it's because even Fletcher's eating, even Hargrave. Dude, I can't believe Fletcher's got 6 sacks. For a guy that has been so inconsistent, he has 6 sacks. Hey, man, that makes me, if he continues to play the way he's playing, I might come down off that 14-4 and go, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 7. Come on back, man. Jordan Davis would benefit having you here along with Hargrave. They got 2 dudes at the ice cream stand that panned out. How about TJ Edwards, the way he played yesterday again? TJ Edwards is the most consistent player on that defense all year long. And I'll tell you this, ever since they put that dude into the starting lineup last year, he has been the linchpin on the turnaround for that defense for Gannon. Without TJ, you Edwards at every single expense. Here's the guys you bring back. You bring them corners back, I'm letting one of them roll. And I'm probably going to let Gardner Johnson roll. Okay? Or it's going to be a tough decision on them 3 dudes. But you got to have TJ Edwards back. You have to have him back. Defense played well, man. Look at the stats. I don't see it. So what does it mean? Why the game was close? Stupid play calling. Man, what? Weren't you guys screaming at the TV set like I was? Why are you doing this? Why is Jalen Hurts have 37 passing attempts? This game should have been 2 hours long. How many running attempts? So, wait a minute. The quarterback had more running attempts than a 1,500-yard back. I have no explanation for that. I can give you a phony-ass rant. Mathematically, Eagles need only 1 win to secure the division and 1 seed throughout the playoffs. All I'm looking for. Once I do that, I'm resting Jalen. Jalen needs some rest. The damn coaches are beating him up in a Chicago Bears game. That means dick. And you almost lost it. This little note to Chris Sims. If Gardner Minshew's in that game, they lose. How about this? Look at this. Miles Sanders is 190 yards away from 1,300 yards. You didn't want to play him. We have some breaking news on Jalen Hurts. Please, God, don't let it be a shoulder. Sustained a shoulder injury. Make that bigger for me, Xander, please. Congratulations, everyone. Eagles is uncertain to play Saturday versus the Cowboys due to a sustained shoulder that he suffered. Man, I feel terrible. I feel terrible. Man, this kid has given his ass and soul to this fucking team all year long. And you fucking ran that guy into fucking the IR list for no reason on Sunday. And that front office should be held accountable. The front office should be held accountable. I want to bring Gary Cobb in. Gary, we have breaking news now that Jalen Hurts may miss the game on Saturday. Show Gary, because I'm going to give this to Gary. Show what's Eagles quarterback MVP candidate Jalen Hurts is uncertain to play Saturday versus the Cowboys due to a sustained shoulder that he suffered during the game. Dude, you know, here's been ranting about here today. You have a shitty 31st ranked run defense in Chicago. Yeah. You run that guy 17 times. You have a 1,300-yard back, Gary. What are you doing? And you don't run him until the second half.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've been talking about this pretty much the whole season because, you know, from being around the game, you know, as if you're taking up inside and where you know he's taking shots, you're risking the entire season. I mean, you know, that's why I didn't want him to, you know, continue with all of the, you know, run pass options, you know, where he's running the ball too much. You're going like, it looks great and everything, but every time you do this, all you need is one time, and then this whole party is over. So hopefully, you know, it'll just be this time, but they have got to realize that when they are asking him and he's going inside and guys are going to get shots at him. You know, I was just at the gym today and I was telling him, look, when I was playing for Buddy Ryan, are you kidding me? Hey, we're gonna get shots at the guy. I mean, and then, you know, he's going to get so many shots where there's no way he can protect himself from everybody. And you've got guys landing on him. See, now they have made it now where they make it harder and they'll throw penalties if you land on the quarterback. Years ago, hey, they told us, look, we're going to pull you over here and sit you down if you don't land on that quarterback. So, you know, I'm not shocked that.
I'm not either.
You know, I'm not. It's not a shock, but you know, when you've been around the thing and you see people like, you know, I'm at different times with Cam Newton. You know how big Cam Newton is? When he came in the league, looked like a monster, 6'4", 6'5", and a big physical. Where's he playing at?
He can't even raise his arms.
Yeah, come on. You know, so I've seen, you know, guys who are specimens, but if they're running that ball, you're going to take so many shots that it really puts everything at risk. So I hate to hear that. Hopefully, you know, it's not going to be as much as it looks like. But, you know, I've been around the thing, you know, and you know what guys used to say? Don't say that. Don't say that. You're jinxing. I was going, man, look, forget some jinx. I said, man, this is when you're out there, this is not play, you know? And even though we say play football, really it's not a game. It's violent. It is a violent fight. It is not, you know, just a little game like we're out here playing tennis or for that matter, basketball or baseball. No, these guys are coming. If you're close, you're down there close, you see collisions, you know that this is more than just a game. It is violent. So therefore, guys get hurt. You try to protect the quarterback. You try to protect your quarterback because you know if he goes down, the party is not going to go on like that.
You know what, though, Gary? I'll tell you what, some people over here in the chat are going like this. Well, they're saying it's not that serious. Well, I'll tell you what I'm doing if I'm Dan Quinn. I'm making sure if I'm the Cowboys, I put a hat on that, and I'm sure I beat that guy up like the Chicago Bears did. And I'll tell you what, you want to see some interceptions? Hit him. Hit him. Yeah. Even if you take a 15-yard penalty, hit him. I'm going to hit Jalen Hurts on Saturday until that guy takes a knee. And you know people don't want to, but right, how about this? They don't want to hear this. Watch this. That's what they're being told in that locker room.
I mean, it's football. This is a violent sport, you know. It's a violent sport. You're going to have collisions. People, look, how many Bears went down during the game? I mean, like, I don't know. It started out almost, it seemed like after every play, a Bear was laying on the ground. So, you know, football it's not for the faint of heart. And you know that when you have a guy carrying the ball, there's always a chance because he cannot see everybody that's coming after him. He can't see him. And then there are guys that are going to land on him. They're going to land on him. And so this is part of the game. And I've been saying all along, but I said, I really would like them to go to conventional running game. So you take Jalen out of it. I don't want Jalen making a decision and he's in there. And if he gets seriously hurt, hopefully this isn't a serious one, but if he were to get seriously hurt where it's like, see ya, like we'll see you next year, then what everybody, then look at all the mess that's going to be on everybody's face because, and their coaching staff has got to know, look, every time we call this and we got this guy out here, are we willing to risk our season?
And Gary, there's where if you're going to have a dual threat quarterback, you've got to manage this guy different than a passer.
That's right.
You just can't randomly run him 17 times.
Yep.
Because part of the game plan against a 31st worst run, you got a 1,200-yard back sitting behind you.
Yeah.
And you really utilize him, Gary, what would go into that decision, you think, not to play Sanders until like this half?
Well, I don't know that they're sitting down making that decision. The thing is, they're not making it a point to say, you know what, we want to give the ball to Sanders. We got to intentionally do it. They go into the game where, look, and I know that they have a confidence in their passing game. But my goodness, it's a windy day in Chicago. How many times are you going to throw the ball? You're going to come out, and, they've been doing it, and they've gotten away with it. But normally you don't come out and throw the ball, 13 times in a row or, like 8 times in a row. But they've been able to do that. But, and even Jalen said something about it, which is it was so cold in Chicago, plus the wind is blowing. It's a difficult place to go and throw the ball that much, So I thought that I would have liked to seen them even have a go in where they're thinking where they're trying to take what the defense gives them, to at least gather a rhythm a little bit, But they went in and they started taking shots. I don't know how many passes. Well, really, I know AJ had. They threw the ball
37 times.
Yeah. They threw, and all they were doing was throwing to their wideouts mainly.
Yep.
Very few throws to anybody else, even though you basically had, most of the throws going to AJ and Devontae, so Matt, I think they learned something from this. I think they
I'll tell you what, hey, hopefully, like you said, it doesn't limit the game plan against the Cowboys on Saturday here. I want to go to the other side of the ball here for a minute, though. Have you been, the impact that Sue and Joseph have had on the front seven, Gary, even on and with Hard has been remarkable. Have you been shocked?
Yeah, I guess I'm surprised to an extent, but at the same time, I got to give Howie a lot of credit. The people that he's brought in, he's brought every guy that he's brought in here. They made sure they were team guys, who are going to, if anything, they're going to get the way this team is going and impact and they're thinking team and everything, that they're going to get on board. And if anything, they're going to make this team closer and more focused on winning. And they're not me guys. They're guys that are going to come in, do their job, and they're going to get on board. And they're not going to be guys that would come in and disturb the flow, and be the kind of selfish guys. They're pros too, because times I've been over there, you see the older guys going through detail about the game that they're playing, and really working almost as mentors and guys that are educating these guys as much as possible about the team they're getting ready to play and what they want to accomplish. And they really have brought those kind of guys in. And it seemed like, if anything, it's made them better, because some of these guys are picking up a lot of the things that they're talking about, like Sue. You see, Sue, of course, and Joseph and all those guys. And I have to say, the guys in the secondary too, they have made it a point. Every one of these guys are pros. they're not guys that are just trying to pad their stats and everything. Every game, it's all about winning. And really, I think they've been educating a lot of these younger guys. And if anything, they stepped up every game. You see the way Sweat is playing. I mean, Hassan Reddick just had the game he had yesterday, it seemed like there might have been 3 Hassan Reddicks on the field. I mean, how many plays did he make? I mean,
Gary, last 7 games, he's been absolutely unreal, and I think he's been more effective than Micah Parsons in Dallas the last 7 weeks.
Well, that's true. If you look at both of them and look at what they've done, I definitely think that Hassan Reddick has been the better of the two. What you say in the last 7 games or whatever. From what I've seen, he has been, he's had an impact in every game, and he's made big plays, forcing fumbles and recovering them. I mean, he's been doing it all. Hopefully, he can continue at this rate. That defense continues to play like that, because clearly the defense kept them in that game, and the defense really is one of the big reasons they won that football game.
Gary, let's throw this at you. Could there be possibly any advantage? Let's just say Jalen can't go on Saturday and you put Minshew in. Could there be any advantage at all that you have, because there's not a lot of game film? Here's a guy that's just walking in, and how many times have you and I seen this? Hell, you've seen it personally firsthand with Nick Foles.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, is there any advantage to the unknown if you're the Cowboys and Dan Quinn if something like that happens? And by the way, this little bit of news, now if you're Dan Quinn and the Cowboys, you got to game plan that. Well, is it Minshew now, or is it Hertz, or is it both? So that makes you have to work a little harder also for New Year's, for Eve.
I definitely think it puts that question mark out there. And when you're talking about a different quarterback, a guy who's going to make different decisions, and Minshew is the kind, he makes quick decisions, but he's not Jalen Hurts. He thinks differently. So you're probably going to see a guy doing a few things at least differently. He's able to run. He's got the ability to run. He could run the option. I don't know how much they'll do it, but clearly it is something for the Cowboys to think about. It's a big question mark, because you don't know what you're going to get from him, and he hasn't been in there. He hasn't been on the tape very much. So that is a question mark. It's something that they would be sitting there and having to think about. And who knows what Minshew, how he will run the offense compared to how, Jalen ran the offense.
Finally here, this news breaking as we were bringing you on. How do you see this game playing out on Saturday?
When you bring in such a huge factor, question mark, I think it's real difficult for me to say that now. Even though I still like the Eagles, because they've shown us they find ways to win. I think this team finds ways to win. I think that's something that's going to help them going forward. And unfortunately, I saw the Cowboys, they find ways to lose. Dak is not playing well.
I call them the Dallas Chernobyls.
Hey, there's some choking going on over there. I don't know how many apples they got in the locker room, but there's some choking going on over there, because, come on, they're not supposed to lose that game. How do you lose that game? And I'm not just talking about the players either. I'm talking about, poor coaching job, or poor decision making. But the way they lost that game, like I said, somebody is eating those Macintosh apples. I can tell it was a Macintosh.
Hey, brother, I love you, man. We got to roll. I appreciate it, man. Should be very
have a good one.
Love you, man. That's Gary Cobb, Fox 29. Don't forget. Breaking news. Jalen Hurts is hurt. These are the worst I told you so's. These are the worst. These are the worst. Hey, do I hope you damn right. These are the worst. Blame that entire offensive coaching staff in Philadelphia for Jalen Hurts' injury. Congratulations. And potentially, and home field advantage, jeopardy Why? Because you ran your quarterback into the ground. I don't know how dumber you can be. Okay, 85, you're right, because that's exactly what the Eagles want to do, is put that out there. They put him on the injured list for a reason. Not for shits and giggles. You're right. No. You probably got it covered. You must know more than everyone else. No, you got wishful thinking going on. He's questionable. I'm going to tell you this. Let me tell you what I would do if I'm Dan Quinn. I'm going to beat up Jalen Hurts and take cheap shots at that shoulder all day long. All day long come Christmas Eve. I'm going to beat on him like a drum. I'm going to slam him. And by the way, your running quarterback will not be dual threat on Saturday. There won't be any dual threat anything. He takes off running, and Michael Parsons lays that guy out, takes him out for the remainder of the night in April. See you in April. Sills, what's in April? The draft. One and done. He did finish the game in Chicago. I like Anthony's assessment. Yeah, Carson Wentz, after he blew his knee out, he finished the play in Los Angeles. Look at Clarence. Take cheap shots, Sills? Are you under the assumption that they don't take cheap shots at running quarterbacks in the NFL? Clarence, the hell kind of ball game do you watch? My take in the first hour has turned out to be poetic justice here for someone to have to call out the coaching staff and their accountability. You got the kid hurt and beat. Watch this. It's a ploy. Okay. I'm going to read it because you're a good man, 85. It's a ploy making Quinn sweat. He'll start and win. Okay, great. I don't subscribe to anything you just said, but I do dig you. I know. Hey, Tone, right. They don't want to. Here. My point today, the entire show, has been they beat that kid up. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. He's going to be Kyler Murray. This is why you don't pay guys like this $50 million unless you take care of him. And the most pathetic part of this is you can. You got a 1,300-yard fucking back. Miles Sanders is 190 yards away from 1,300. And Howie doesn't want to pay him, so he sat his ass and got the kid banged up. He's probably going to play. I'm not saying he's not going to play Saturday, Hertz. What's the point? The shitty Bears. So both backs leave the game banged up. Congratulations. Hey, one guy got 1,000 yards. How dumb. How dumb. What's a reach, Yale? That running quarterbacks get hit and hurt? I don't think that's a reach, guy. I actually have history and facts on my side. I knew it wouldn't be long before some jackass like Words would throw that out there. You got your wish? Are you out of your tree? If you think that I would like Jalen Hurts hurt, you're just an imbecile. You're one of those guys who puts the fake racist narrative. Now, Sileo got his wish and wishful thinking. Some of you are so pathetic. Own comments show you the ignorance of how you are lowbrow thinking people. Xander says this is every Eagle fan's worst nightmare, and it was entirely avoidable. Amen. It's not the point, Stephen, or Stefan, excuse me, sir, on how hurt he is. It's the fact that this is who he is. Shane Steichen. Dude, I hope somebody tomorrow asks these coaches. Sirianni, after the game on Sunday, didn't want to answer when Hertz took off down the field and why he did that play. And I mean, why would you throw the ball 37 times in 20-degree weather in Chicago against the 31st worst run? Tell me that with a 1,200-yard back in the backfield. What is the point? What's the point? What is the point of that? You can't even explain that. You know what sucks? The Eagles did something the Cowboys can never do. You know what that is? Win in adverse situations. Congratulations, man. That was a hard-fought and a very costly 13 against the dumbass Bears. Worst nightmare. Now, General is right. Yeah, but dude, throwing shoulder? Completely avoidable. The Philadelphia Eagle coaching staff got Jalen Hurts hurt going into the Dallas week, into a week where you can clinch home field advantage. And God forbid he gets hurt on the AstroTurf in Dallas and Arlington at AT&T. Season's over. I thought it was a throwing shoulder when he went down. The play, the D lineman fell on him. Not him getting hit. It was when the D-line hit him and laid on him. Yeah, it is his throwing arm. Tim goes, Sills, relax, you have an enlarged. It's true, I do. Leo goes, Sills, why did running Hertz? I don't know. Here. You got a guy, said it, 190 yards away from third, and he's averaging 5.2 yards a carry. Versus one of the worst defenses in the league. About 37 times. Point. Howie doesn't. I'm sorry that slipped out. We could beat Dallas with Minshew. I'm not thinking he's going to miss the game. I'm going to take a break, guys. Please hang in. The internet is going out loud today, and I hate it. And it's bugging me. We got Dallas week here. I appreciate everybody. Please hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Ball Show.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know how Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
the greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio. Destination Downingtown is rolling back prices for December to remember. For a limited time, you can own, not lease, brand new 2023 Jeep Wranglers for only $30,995 or $339 per month. New Rams starting at only $30,995 or new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs $189 per month. Zero down can deliver. Get the price you want, the selection you need, and the VIP treatment you deserve. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Big Finish Sales Event.
Did you know taxes could be your biggest expense during retirement? Are most of your assets in tax-deferred accounts like IRAs and 401ks? Taxes are historically low today, but we're facing significant headwinds in the future. Do you have a plan? The Thrive Financial team has more than 100 years of experience helping people across the Delaware Valley with forward-looking tax planning. Learn how to shift your money from forever tax to no or low tax accounts. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Big Sales National Football Show. Appreciate you guys coming aboard. Thank you very much. And I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me with the internet being the way it is. And I thank you guys a lot. I do. Guys, I want this to be very clear here today. This is this organization's worst nightmare situation. Jalen's hurt going into the Cowboy game. His left shoulder, okay, that's a little better. Why would we pay Hertz if he keeps playing like this? No, Leo. They keep putting him in situations like this, you mean? Again, I apologize about the internet, guys. It's been in and out all day. I'm a slave to it, so it's what it is. It was a trap game. The Bear game was a trap game against the 31st worst rush team in the league. Really. Tom Palacero's reporting it was the throwing shoulder. I thought it was too because I saw him go down when the D lineman landed on him. Okay. This is completely avoidable. This was completely avoidable. I've been saying it all year. And you know what Xander said to me prior to the show starting? Do you know what Xander said today? Let me tell you what Xander Krause said. Sills, he's doing so much better throwing the ball. Why are they running him more than he did a year ago? I'm paid to kind of give an I couldn't answer him. Anybody with any common sense would go, damn, man, you got a 1,300 yard, you got a 1,200 yard back behind him. Coaching staff. Hey, Howie, if you told that coaching staff not to play Miles Sanders, Howie's responsible. All I'm asking is the question. Whose was it to give Miles Sanders, and let me get it, 11 carries? Whose call was that? Whose call was it to give a back who's going to be a Pro Bowl running back in a game against the shittiest run defense in the NFL not to be part of the game plan in the first half? Somebody tell me. Hey, Bob, you got a lot of controlling to do with the media in Philly, man, because your coaching staff is accountable for this, and they're responsible for this. You're responsible for that kid getting hurt, and you know it. I'm calling the Eagles out on this. You're responsible for hurting that kid. And you didn't have him. In a game like that, I would have turned the ball. Guess what? He would have ran the ball 8 times, and Sanders would have ran it 35. Boston Scott and Gainwell, all them guys, would have had 20 carries. That game should have been over. That game should have been over in the first 15 minutes of the ball game. Mr. Internationals goes, this might be the day you get Eagles Nation on your side for the rest of the season. Why run like this? Mr. International, this has been my comment all year. Dude, you got to be careful with dual quarterbacks, dual threat quarterbacks. Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson. Dude, all the guys that are hurt. Josh Allen, I'm telling you, he's next. It's the style that is the problem. It's not the production I've ever complained about. It's the style. Hey, here's a question for you. How important is that Dallas game to you on Saturday night? How important is that game to you? How important is that game to you? Or is it more important? Remember something? Remember what Howie did? Howie had a shit face, and he had an ass bag with Wentz not going back in after the Seattle hit with Jadeveon Clowney. He's going to expect her to play Saturday. Tone, I want to wait until here, Tone. If I have to sit Jalen, I'm not going to make that public till game time decision because I want Dallas to have to prepare for both. Coaching is our biggest weakness. Oh, clearly against the 7th. You know, I heard people go like this. This is Howie Roseman. I think I heard D. Gunn say this. This is Howie Roseman's greatest accomplishment, building this 2022 team. Okay, fair enough. But here's the thing between that 2022 team and this team. 10 times their coaching was that 17 team. Tone goes, I don't care about Dallas, but make them sweat it out. Yeah, make them sweat it out. Absolutely. Make them have to plan both dudes. 85. That's my only point about it. Look, I'm not saying don't run Jalen because that's what he does and who he is. But I'm saying, why did the most carries of anybody in the game? How makes sense in a shitty game? How does that make sense? Leo, MVP award? Let's worry about health right now. Let's worry about health with Hertz. Okay? Let's worry about health. MVP and winning and the health of that guy is the most essential thing right for the Philadelphia Eagles. Fuck Dallas. The health of that guy is the important thing going on right now. You built the entire offense around him. And it's just not sustainable. I kept saying that to you guys all year long. And here's the point someone's going to make. Well, Sills, he's still probably going to play. Okay. So then, as I told you, look at what my topic was. Let me show you what my topic was here. Where is that? And this, I put little cliff notes here. Big Sills takes on the game. Is Hertz getting worn out? At 3 o'clock before the news on Jalen Hurts, my topic was, is Hertz getting worn out or worn down? And then voila, Xander goes, we got Jalen Hurts news. Hurt his shoulder. It's one of those. Abanez, Sales, I want the Eagles coaching staff to sit Hurts for the playoffs if he can't play for Dallas. I want the Eagles to have him availability against the Niners in the NFL game. Look at Andrew, says it's a bluff. Really? So people like Tom Pelissero, people in the business, and the Eagles, and the NFL, they're bluffing the Cowboys. Why would you have to bluff the Cowboys? You're better than them. Off. The Cowboys just lost to the Jags. Cowboys are going to be favored by 5 points now. Bluff. McLean of the Inquirer says it's the left shoulder, conflicting reports. Good. Well, I don't want it to be the right shoulder, but let it be conflicting. Why? The more you don't know about the injury, that's why hockey guys always go upper body injury, lower body injury. They don't want to identify it because guys will attack it. Make it as vague as possible. Make it as vague as possible. Put the least amount of intel out there you can. Marcus said, I said it during the game, landed on the shoulders, just like Rome did. Like Aaron did a few years back. All right, let me take a timeout. Hour number 3 coming up. We're going to reset everything here. We'll replay and post what was posted on the internet, too, about Jalen Hurts. And we're going to go forward. And I've got so much other stuff. The NFL, but this is bigger news. Hit the like button. Keep it here. National Football Show.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio. Destination Downingtown is rolling back prices for December to remember. For a limited time, you can own, not lease, brand new 2023 Jeep Wranglers for only $30,995 or $339 per month. New Rams starting at only $30,995 or new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs $189 per month. Zero down can deliver. Get the price you want, the selection you need, and the VIP treatment you deserve. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Big Finish Sales Event.
Did you know taxes could be your biggest expense during retirement? Are most of your assets in tax-deferred accounts like IRAs and 401ks? Taxes are historically low today, but we're facing significant headwinds in the future. Do you have a plan? The Thrive Financial team has more than 100 years of experience helping people across the Delaware Valley with forward-looking tax planning. Learn how to shift your money from forever tax to no or low tax accounts. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
National Football Show, hour number 3. Welcome here. And unfortunately, we have some bad news for you when it comes to Jalen Hurts being injured in that Chicago game. Sander, if you could put that up there for us, there being reports. Now, there's conflicting reports on what shoulder that he did hurt in that Chicago game. But there is no question, in my opinion, this entire thing was avoidable. And I ranted the entire first hour about the coaching staff and how the inability of the offensive coaches put a decent game plan around that kid in an insignificant game like the Chicago game. And for them to do this, this is on them. This is on the coaching staff. This is on the coaching staff. Make that a little bigger there for me so I can read it, Xander, please. There you go. Tom Pelissero, Eagle star quarterback. Jalen Hurts' status is in doubt for Saturday's game against the Cowboys because of a sprained shoulder suffered in the quarter Sunday. Sources tell Rap Sheet and Mike Gallifero the injury isn't considered long-term. Jesus, criminy. Wow, it's not considered long-term? I thought it was just a bang-up. Remember what? Here, I'm going to show you guys this one more time. And I'm going to give you guys why dual threat quarterbacks have low ceilings. One last time. It's the hammer and the nail effect. The offensive coaches did a shitty job in Philadelphia this year protecting him. Carries are up. I'm not even talking about how good he's played, because he has. He's played MVP football. He's played MVP football. And the dude gutted it out on Sunday for you. That gives me even more inspiration if I'm in that locker room. He gutted it out. That's why Mulata was telling him, stay down. Man, that O-line knew he was beat up. You got a 1,200-yard back, and you're not using him, and you're kicking your quarterback's ass for no reason. With the Dallas game looming, home field looming, you can't say they deserve it because that goes back and as a result of Hertz. But Jesus criminy. Get out of my locker room, Howie, and everyone else. who's meddling in plays. So, General says Dallas tried to say Dak was going to play first game. Why would the Eagles have to pretend anything? Why would they have to pretend against Dallas? You're better. Why would the Eagles go to this extent to pull a rouge? Some of you are idiots. What's the point of that? That's wasted energy. What's the point of that? Let's get out and play 60 minutes of football. The Eagles are better. I don't need to play a game with you, guy. You got a plan? I'm going to punch you what that plan means to me. That's cowardly lion stuff. Eagles have been the toughest guy on the street every freaking they've played. Now they're going to play a game, Cowboys? How dumb are you? It's a dumb take. I'm better than you. I don't need to. Well, maybe, my guy's a little banged up. Dude, what is that? You sound like a worm. That's snowflake talk. Hey, let's play a game on the Cowboys. Going in, what are you, Michael Parsons? Eagles are better than Dallas in every way. Your pass rushers, too. Pass rushers in Dallas. You see, when you're a Dallas Cowboy, watch this. You're a big TV star. Well, TV stars have to show up for performances too, Parsons is on podcast barking about Jalen Hurts. Dude, you forgot the Jags game. Where were you? I didn't see you again. This is, I don't even want to go into what I've been talking about all year about dual threat quarterbacks because you know why? I don't want to disrespect Jalen. And I don't want to be the guy to go, I told you so. Because I hate what I'm hearing. I don't even want to go into it. I feel terrible. Such a good kid. Such a hardworking guy. Tone says it's put up or shut up time for the rest of the team. Get one win, and the number one seed is ours. You're going to have to protect Jalen Hurts from Jalen Hurts on Saturday night. If that guy is too banged up, I'm not playing him. Do you want to win the war or the battle? I want to win the war. If I lose a battle, happens in the NFL. Teams lose battles all the time. You don't want to lose the war, though. You want to win the war. You want to be the guy putting the American flag up on top of the hill, You want to be at Okinawa going like this with the flag. D-Matt, I don't give a shit if you believe me or not. I'm not here to appease you. Time to find, hey, bro, get out. I don't care. I don't care. I don't have to be a bullshit artist to you. You got plenty of those in Philly. Sills, it's a bluff. It's not a bluff. Dude, why would the Eagles play a bluff now when they're better? Why? You think Mike Tyson bluffed people when he fought dudes? You think Ali bluffed people? You're the heavyweight champion of the world. Act like it, not bluffing. Bluffing. Don't be soft. Jesus criminy. Some of you guys in here are soft. So it's a bluff. We're bluffing the Cowboys, who just lost to the Jags and the Packers. And you've beat them. And you know you're better. But hey, let's bluff them. How wormy, man. Up in that locker room, I'm like, I don't give a shit what happens. I'm going out there and beating these people up. No, what you're doing is, per John Clark, no doubt Hertz will be ready for playoffs. I would sit him. Wow. That's one of the dudes that's pretty plugged in Philly, right? He must be significantly hurt. It must be, you're hoping it's not separated. You're glad it's not broken. Wow. You got any more news for us, Xander? Man, this is unbelievable news. I knew something was wrong. X-rays came back negative. Fantastic news. Fantastic news. Hey, look at this guy right here, Sydney. You don't bluff when you're holding all the cards. Amen. Amen. That's a great take. Why would you bluff when you're holding all the cards? You bluff when, like Sun Tzu says, you're the lesser opponent and you're trying to figure out ways to beat a superior opponent. That's when you bluff. When you're the lesser team, you bluff. Not when you're holding all the cards and you're the dude. Wow. Jalen Hurts is banged up. And I started my show off in the first hour. And my point was, you're wearing him out. Hour number 2, the story breaks. He may miss the Cowboy game. My whole rant today and my whole position today, here, was this. The 2 interceptions he threw, I didn't care. I know some of you probably thought Sileo was going to kill Hertz because he didn't. I thought Jalen played great. $315 yards, 2 shitty picks in December in Chicago at Soldier Field. What's in Soldier Field in December? Wind? Welcome to Lake Michigan. The 17 carries is the thing that really stunned me and broke my stunads and broke my cannolis was, why are you doing this to him? Man, there were 3 hits in that game. The one he got hit in the face and the one that the guy landed on his shoulder. That I went like this, man, what's the point of this? What point of that? Dude, I know the Eagle coaching staff wants him to win the MVP award, but at what expense? The shitty Bear game should have been over after the first 15 minutes. Yell goes like this. How may Howie chime in about that? Just like this. Hey, listen. Got a running back that we're going to let walk because we haven't offered him a contract. And if he hits an incentive of 1,300 yards, he gets an additional $500,000. Let's pull back in those attempts. Play Boston Scott and Gainwell more. That's how that works. You stop people from making incentives and looking bad. Howie doesn't like to look bad. He's going to look horrific when you let a 1,400-yard running back walk out the building with 13 touchdowns because he has no explanation for it, because he's not going to pay $7-8 million for Miles Sanders. He's not. I don't know, he's wrong on it, but it won't be a good look. So what you do is you make those numbers look less, but you can't, because you know why? He's averaging 5.2 yards a carry. As a matter of fact, the last 2 years, Miles Sanders has averaged over 5 yards a carry. But yet you want to run your quarterback more this year than you did a year ago. Greg says there has to be money incentives. Okay, Greg, let's put it out here. Hertz is hurt because of the decision not to run Sanders. Plain and simple, nothing else. Or, watch this. Okay. Miles Sanders is like the second leading runner in the NFL, something like that. Right? You got the 31st worst rush defense in the league, and you want to run your quarterback instead of your paid running back. Why would you not use him until the second half? By the way, this is what I would say too. Oh my God. I didn't even think about this one. They'll hold this against him. Also in negotiations. Second year in a row he's hurt. And he could miss a significant game in the Dallas game. Because let's not forget that comeback that the Vikings had. That was the game that sucked for the Eagles because that meant that they had to play still. They still have to play because the Vikings are kind of right there. And without Jalen down the stretch, the Eagles could lose home field advantage. People in Philly are now reporting, well, he'll be ready for the playoffs. Wait a minute. You haven't secured home field yet. You're one game away from doing the NFC East. And get this, you still got New York, who won on Sunday night, and you still got the Cowboys to play without Hertz? Maybe. I don't know. That's not a slam dunk yet. It's a slam dunk if Jalen's in there. If Jalen's not in there, that's no slam dunk. Look at this, Dick. Name says I'm hating on Hertz. How am I hating on him? I'm hating on your stupid coaches. Hey, Bob, you may have hurt the kid's chances of winning the MVP because of your dumbass play calling by your guys and the meddling of your GM. All of this is completely avoidable. This was 100% avoidable. But will anybody have the balls in Philly to call out Sirianni and Steichen and get Howie's ass in front of a mic on how this played out like that in a meaningless game in Chicago? You know, I have had this attitude since we started 3 o'clock Eastern here today. Then when the news broke, it validated my whole take. Why are you running him? And I even came out and said, hey, I thought Jalen played great. Xander and I both were saying this. It was over-the-shoulder passes in the wind and shit like that. Thought he was great. I mean, he had a 2-pick suck, but whatever. It's Chicago. A lot of players go up there. I saw Joe Montana go up there and get annihilated in Chicago. Happens. That's the problem these days. Everyone thinks too far ahead. Play who's in front of you. Yeah, that name. But name. Check it out here. Why did they run the running back then? I mean, it's Chicago. There's a reason they had 3 wins. Dude, if the Eagles are playing against a 10-win team, I kind of get it. A 3-win team. You're putting your quarterback in a game situation like he's playing the playoffs. Nick, Shane, and Jalen have to eat that. a good number of his runs are of his choice. Well, then limit him. Don't give him that choice. Someone's got to protect the player. You know, I hear Barrett say this. Don't pull back on Jalen Hurts and who he is. He's right. But but when you have a dual threat quarterback, you got to manage that guy on a pitch count. Jalen Hurts is 44 carries away from 200 carries. In today's NFL, that's a standard running back. In the last 2 years, I heard Rob say this with glee, and I'm like, that ain't a great stat. That Jalen's got more rushing touchdowns than any running back in the league. Dude, you're wearing this kid's ass out. And it's playing out, unfortunately, like I laid it out. People have been tweeting at me, Sileo, dude, look at the numbers he's putting up. Don't worry about it. He squats 600 pounds and shit. And I'm going, what's 600 pounds get his shoulder? How did 600 pounds help his shoulder? How did 600 pounds squats help his shoulder? They don't. It's a collision sport. By the way, Jimmy Johnson tomorrow. Finnis goes, get out of here, dude. You have a heat-blowing Hertz. She got hurt. Dude, try to put him in more in the sequence where I can read it. Now, all the blank in the butt people who blame Gannon are now pretending Steichen has been awful. No, you got your quarterback hurt. That was a shitty game plan, JM. I don't know how you don't see that. You don't play your back, and it results in your quarterback getting banged up. How is that wrong? You've got to put him on a pitch count. Dude, here's what you don't have with dual threat quarterbacks. They're not going to make it to the postseason. Dual threat. You gotta coach those guys differently than drop back guys. You know why? Drop back guys don't rely on their wheels. They're not running for their life. There ain't 18 carries. Tom Brady, 18 carries? I guarantee you, Tom Brady's never had more than 4 carries in a game in 25 years. JM goes, but the whole season? JM, watch this. They have done a fabulous job at building the offense that they have right now around Jalen Hurts. I think you're right, JM. I think I need to point this out better. Okay? They have done a great job at building this offense and how it looks around Jalen Hurts. Completely agree, and you are 1,000% true. Correct. Right. Okay? What's happened, though, taking that dual threat offense that they've built, it's worn them out. Like I said it would. There's a reason why you don't see 4,000-yard passing quarterbacks and 1,000-yard runners. They don't make it to the playoffs. They need to. And again, here's the troubling thing. Dude, you got one of the top 3 backs in the NFC to alleviate that stuff. How about this? How about this? Even if you call my take dumb, what's the rationale for shouldn't Sanders' carries be going up? Dude, if there's a guy I'll lose Sanders, not Hertz. If I lose Miles Sanders in the stretch run to the playoffs, hey, man, a lot of people lose players. I don't want to lose my quarterback, though. Hurts out for 2 weeks. Is it New York? Who's after the Cowboys? Is it New York or is it New Orleans? Dude, Kelly, you're right. The way they're handling Miles Sanders, like for the last 6 weeks, has been weird. Saints are next. Saints are still in the NFC South race, so they're going to – and by the way, you know Mickey Loomis wants some piece of ass of the Eagles because that draft pick, man, he hates what happened. Philly goes, as a diehard Eagle fan, I believe the media should hold these coaches' feet to the fire during questioning this week. No way. Bob Lang, the PR dude with the Eagles, you'll think you're at a White House briefing. They'll be systematically picking certain people to go to. They're not going to go to people that are going to ask tough questions. They never do. It's a controlled environment in Philly. Hertz calling play, Steichen's figure sells. Keep trying to tell you. This is on Hertz. Well, somebody's got to protect the player. If I miss it, Sills, is Hertz your MVP? Let's see if he plays. Okay? Why? This would be the same thing what happened to Wentz. Wentz was my leading candidate for the most valuable player award. And once he lost those last 2 regular season games, or lost, I meant by wasn't able to play, he lost his ability to win the MVP because he didn't finish the year. Dan, when it comes to negotiations, might be 3 years, 35 to 37 now. Wow. No, I don't think the MVP talk's over yet. Hang in there with that. The MVP right now is a 3-man race. And it's even, and if I had to lean, I'm leaning Hertz. Okay? I'm leaning Hertz. Hertz, Mahomes, Burrow. Those are your 3 horses. They got 3 games to get around the track. If Hertz isn't there for one of these games, it obviously puts him at a disadvantage. Burrow is skyrocketing. He is on a rocket right now, man. He's playing as good as anybody has all year. I mean it. He is killing teams. That Cincinnati Bengal team is a machine right now. Very underrated defense, and the O-line's coming around. It took a little time, but it is coming around. You know what I'm going to get on Twitter? I'm going to get people going, Sileo, wish this, and I'm like, wished it. How crazy is that? I don't want to cover Gardner Minshew. I want to cover Jalen Hurts and his rise to fame. People like success stories. They like seeing the Phoenix rise. I do. I like stories like Jalen Hurts. Sills, proven wrong like you were, Lamar. I was so right there. And to some extent, I have been proven wrong. I blame the coaching staff 150% for Jalen Hurts being injured for the Cowboy game. 150%. It's on them. The situational play calling was atrocious. Shane Steichen and Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman should answer people for this. Why would you against the look at all the tea leaves too. The shittiest run defense in the league, and you have a 1,200-yard back, and you have a back that's 5'2". Why would you get your quarterback banged up in a meaningless Bears game who have 3 wins? Isn't it funny that two dual threat quarterbacks left the game injured. Gee, I could build my team around Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields. Really? Justin Fields still got 1,000 yards. Yeah, and he ended the game in the 10th. He ended the game in the 10th. It was so stupid watching that. Now, Justin Fields is the third running or quarterback to have 1,000 yards. And I looked at the other guys. It was Vic and Lamar, now him. And I went, how's that a good thing? Every one of those guys, by the time they were in their heyday of their careers, they couldn't finish seasons. They couldn't play full seasons. And most notably, they didn't win anything. Hey, guarantee you, Ravens, I guarantee you they bail on Lamar. Look at K1, too. No, wrong dude. I said Justin Fields. He finished the game with a W. Justin Fields finished the game in the 10th. Wrong dude. I know you think I sit here, and all you guys think it's about 4 hours or 10 hours of banging on Hertz. It's not. I have said that Jalen Hurts played very good in that game in Chicago. I said not one negative thing about that guy today. Not one freaking one. And I even said he's in the conversation for MVPs, neck and neck with two other legendary guys. By the way, Sills, we see Mahomes throw some picks. I don't give a shit. He won his 7th straight AFC West title with Andy Reid. They've got 2 AFC championships and a Super Bowl. He's got an MVP as the Super Bowl MVP and regular season. Don't talk about Patrick Mahomes. I know what you're talking about. For the Philly media being so tough, or the Philly people being so tough, I'll tell you what, man, 75% of your market and people who cover that team don't ask very tough questions. They don't. Now, I get it. They want their jobs and shit. And my aunt and my wife will tell you, Sills, that's why you are sometimes unemployed. You're right. People can't do their jobs today. Because my first question out of my mouth to Nick Sirianni would be, Coach, what was the point in running Jalen so much in a game like that? Well, and if he answered it this way, well, that's Jalen's call. Okay, well, I would look at him and say this. Well, Coach, you give Jalen that autonomy to go out there like that, doesn't someone have to keep him in the guardrails and keep him safe from himself? I mean, run the design plays. Oh, so what? It's not really a designed offense? I want to read this. Dominique says Cowboy fans need to humble they lost to the Jags. Totally, man. The Dallas Chernobyls. I mean, I would look at this, and I would look at him and go, so wait, are you telling me, some of you guys said this to me here, Sills, that's on Jalen Hurts because Jalen does a lot of that on his own. Oh, so you don't really put a game plan together for Hurts? You kind of put an ideology together for Hurts. And you guys have about 30 or 40 plays that you run off a sheet. And Jalen likes the plays. And if Jalen likes the plays, he'll never last. Never last with that. Never. Never lasts with that. Playing schoolyard ball, ask Kyler Murray how that worked. And that guy's got DeAndre Hopkins. Ask him how that worked. That was not the game for Hertz to be the feature running back. Michael, you have a feature running back. And a great one. Eagles lose out. I'll tell you what. I wouldn't hold it on the players 1 second. If the Eagles have some losses going down, completely a nuclear meltdown by the entire organization and not the 53 men in the locker room. Hey, Nick, stop screaming in the stands. Control your quarterback and make sure he's safe. Stupidity at its finest was on. Dude, honestly, my bitch today has been about the coaching staff. And I never thought in a million years Xander Krause was going to be posting something today that said that Hertz could be potentially out 2 weeks. Man, if I was in that Eagle locker room, I'd be like, if I was Miles Sanders, I'd be even more pissed off. I'd be like, if I was that O-line, I'd be like this. You know what? I'll tell you what, too. Cowboys, man, are in big trouble because I think they're going to come out and play their asses off now. Oh, I think the Eagles are going to be chomping at the bit. Oh, Parsons talking shit. Oh, man, my quarterback's hurt. Dumbass play calling. Wow. Would I want the Cowboys? Whoa. Dude, I'm going to hit your Dak as hard as I can. And he better not be standing around a pile because I'm going to get a 15-yard penalty on that guy too. I'm going to put a forearm in the back of his neck. Every time I see that guy, I'm going to hit him. So you going to take cheap shots at him? You bet your ass I am. You're going to play on no. Big Sills knows how to do it. Here's a little trick. Offensive lineman getting off the ground. Oh, gee, did I step on your hands? I'm sorry. You did that on purpose. Hey, man. I was taught that by Randy White. Guy's holding you too much. When he gets off the ground, step on his hands. See how he likes it. You stepped on my hand. Stop fucking holding me. Hey, Dan. Bengals might go win it. Hey, I think the Bengals are playing as good a football as anybody in the NFL right now. Yeah, I apologize for my language. Okay, I apologize. But man, this is really this was avoidable. This was totally avoidable. It's frustrating for me. Honest to God, I'm watching that game and I'm just doing this. I'm gonna get the guy killed. I'm gonna get the guy. I even tweeted it out during the game. This is not sustainable. Your coaches are still on training wheels. They're better than Jeff Saturday, but jeez, oh man. Dude, what are you worried about Dak for? Dak sucks. You're the Eagles. You're better. Cowboys suck. Overrated, overhyped. Michael Parsons, overrated, overhyped. The whole thing, man. Overrated, overhyped. Give me a break. Dallas Cowboys. The Niners are the team you got to concern yourself with. Coaching deficiencies will cost us a playoff loss. No under center, no play action, starting every game with 30 passes, no balance. What? Hey, Ken, why in the world would you start and throw the ball 37 times in 20-degree weather in Chicago in December when you know it's windy and you got a 1,200-yard back and the Bears are the worst run defense in the league? Where do you come up with this game plan? You kept The coaches systematically kept the Bears in that game and made it a fourth quarter game. They almost lost that game. When the players, shit, like I told you, look at this. Defense held the Bears to 58 plays. You held the Bears to 58 plays? Nobody wins a game. That's what Washington did to you guys. Eagles had 71 plays. The 3 turnovers kept them in it, and the play calling. They had less than 250 yards of total offense. You held them to 20 points. Everyone should win that game. You did. But your coaching staff kept them in it, and you got your quarterback in a position where he may miss 2 weeks. Man, I could sit here and not go back over it, but been telling you this all year. You guys have been fighting me on it all year long. Dual threat quarterbacks have to be put on a pitch count. You have to make sure that those guys are not beat up, one, by the end of the season. Secondly, at the back end of their career. There is not a high ceiling for this style of football, no matter how talented you are. End of story. There's precedent in the NFL with every single thing I just said. Howie wants to limit Sanders? Since when does he have a say on Sunday? You know what? That was always one of the cool things about Kevin Colbert and the relationship with Mike Tomlin. Kevin Colbert, the former general manager of the Steelers, always got out of the way. He said his work is done. It's now Mike and the coaching staff's responsibility to win games. Because he didn't want to be held accountable for it. Hey, someone needs to ask, how come Sanders isn't being? Why over the last 5 weeks? You'd rather save Miles Sanders for the playoffs than Jalen Hurts? Your actions show that. Hey, someone's asking me, the Eagles defense is playing better football going into this game on Christmas Eve. They're playing better. Your rush ends are now better than the Cowboys' rush ends. Minshew Mania in Dallas for the hat and tee, baby. Okay. Sanders won't be here next year. Probably run him into the ground. I would. I don't want to run my quarterback. I need my quarterback. Run all 4 backs. Maurice, why would you not run all 4 of your quarterbacks in a game where the Bears are the worst rush defense in the league? Why would you not do that? It is so hell-bent for the Eagles to prove to people out there that they have a high-powered offense so that these guys have their numbers, that they would put their quarterback in harm's way for it. That's how important that MVP conversation is for the Eagles to make sure Jalen Hurts is looked at in the same breath as the other guys. So in that realm, even the owner's responsible. They want to be in the big parade with Burrow and Mahomes and Allen, with all these guys having all these numbers. Andy Reid does a great job. You know what Andy Reid does? I got to give Andy Reid credit. Andy Reid is such a great coach. He's such a great coach. Even without a running game, the Chiefs are a dominant team. Even without a running game and a really top-flight wideout, he is so good. He is so good. After that Titans game, when Mahomes got hurt, shit, you never see that kid in harm's way. You never see that guy in harm's way. You never see Patrick Mahomes in a position where he could get hurt. That's Andy Reid. You got to be smart and here's how, and someone texts me and goes, Sills, I'm watching the show. How would you have managed Jalen in this game against Chicago? Well, I would have went to Jeff Stoutland, said, we're going to run the ball 758 times. I was even goofing last week that it was a Conference USA game. You're going to see 88 runs and 4 passes. Shit, you saw 37. Am I right? You had more passing attempts in this game than you had running attempts. In Chicago, in December, against the worst rush defense in the league. Dude, a junior high school coach could put a better game plan together than that. This was a game plan malpractice. They're so hell-bent on him getting a $4,000 and the 2 receivers getting to 1,000 yards in the back. Well, they're not so concerned about the back because they kept him in the shed. You see, this is what's going on here. The future of the team and the stars of the team are the 2 wideouts and the quarterback. The running back, they could give a shit about him. That's why they kept him in the barn. All of a sudden, when they started seeing their quarterback getting hit in the face, getting beat up a little bit, they started running him. They ran him out of necessity, not because his inability and his effectiveness. They ran it. He's banged up. We got to run him. That is so awful of strategy. Against that Bears team, it would have went like this. Eagles up 7-0, 14-play drive. 80% of them was run. By halftime, 14-0. See, the front office doesn't like that. They want 21-0. Then when you had a couple turnovers, a couple of hits on the quarterback, a couple of missed throws, kept the game close, didn't it? You were down. Then the game was getting into the third. Then he started getting beat up. Then the game was a fourth quarter game. Bears got the game into the fourth quarter. You know, I'd really like to have known how that game would have played out if Justin Fields didn't end the game in the tent. I'd like to have known. Would they put Nathan Peterman in? Dude, anytime you see a ball game with Nathan Peterman in it, it's time to turn the channel. Jimmy Johnson will be with us tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern. Eagles might prove Michael right by busting the Cowboys. Hey, I'm going to say this. Michael Parsons, hey, dude, one more time. Instead of talking shit on Jalen Hurts, you forgot your game on Saturday or Sunday against the Jags. I didn't see you out there, bro. Hassan Reddick is making this. Hassan Reddick, hey, man, last 7 weeks, he's been a force. He's been an absolute force. I see him every weekend. Michael Parsons. Yeah. Ken goes, Steichen gets his game plan from Madden. Wouldn't doubt it. Michael Vick, Madden, probably. Damn, dog. How much time you think he misses? You like the Hassan. Now what? You know what you're going to see on my Twitter page? See? Sileo wished it. Making it, without a doubt, telling you flat out here. Wasn't wishful thinking. It was reality thinking. Was reality. Xander just said that Jalen Hurts may be done for the rest of the season. That's just what I think, not a report. Want to make that clear. Damn. Only, you ever do this? You know you're right, and when it happens, you feel like a turd. I'll do week 15 tomorrow because that report that came out today is so awful. Some go, Sills, he may not miss the game. That ain't the point, man. That ain't the point. You put your season in jeopardy with that. Dude, those coaches, unfortunately, they'll not be held accountable, though. No way. Philly media acts tough. They're not. They're not. Because the Eagles will put them in their place. What if the Eagles lose out? Lose the next 3 games. Then you're a wild card? Because if Dallas beats you and they end up with the same record, they need one of the 3. Okay? So the Saints are going to play them. The Giants are playing for their playoff lives. And the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys. I don't think the Eagles lose out either. I do not think the Eagles lose out. Then Hertz should definitely get he's not getting the MVP if he can't play the final 3 games. Be like Carson Wentz, dude. It's over. The conversation's over. I do think Devontae will probably get his 1,000 yards, though. Let's wait, see how the next 24 hours play out before you start talking about Gardner Minshew. I'd wait. I would wait, okay? I would wait before we start talking Gardner Minshew stuff. Yeah, Forte, congratulations. 2 receivers, 1,000 yards, your quarterback won't play. I don't know. Hey, but we got to get those guys their numbers. Damn. You talk about high school stuff. Hey, James. I said all year long, dual threat quarterbacks don't last, and you don't pay them $50 million. Okay? This is why. Because this will be the second year in a row now he's missing games. You think that gets better as he gets older? Do you guys? I hate to be the hard truth guy, but that's a fact. This is why you don't give dudes like that $50 million, especially when you got a high school coaching staff. We'll see how this plays out. Jimmy Johnson's with us tomorrow at 3:30. Let's go 24 hours before everyone starts jumping off. Okay, starts jumping off a cliff here. Let's hang in there. Let's see how this plays out. Okay, all right, guys, you were great. Unfortunate news today. We'll see how it plays out. Coach Johnson tomorrow at 3:30. I appreciate everybody. It's a great Christmas week. Unfortunately, Monday starts off our Christmas week not with some good news here. We'll see how it plays out. There's a big game, though, still on Christmas Eve against the Cowboys. Xander, great stuff. Tone, thank you. Catch you tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern. Keep it here on the National Football Show. We shall see you on the flip side.